Hi, I'm Eric Linask here at Editor's Day in Santa Clara. From CYARA, joining me now is Alok Kulkarni. Alok, thanks for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome, Eric.
So we were just talking about kind of the customer experience and the evolution of the customer experience. Tell me about how the customer experience and the needs for meeting customers' expectations for experiences are changing.
So, Eric, what we're seeing right now is the age of the consumer. And the millennials and the baby boomers as well as the Gen X are driving engagement with enterprises. And they're wanting to communicate over their device of choice, anytime, anywhere, and essentially get the information that you need to them or what business they want to do with you very quickly. And what we're seeing enterprises grapple with is this constant change in a multi-vendor ecosystem where they have to deliver these new channels and not only deliver them, but deliver them fast, right, and make sure that they're flawless. So they're dealing with this constant change, the risk of putting in this new technology in a multi-vendor ecosystem and delivering this capability at scale.
And one of the challenges that I've personally seen or experienced, and I've heard you read about it as well, is the consistency of that experience across different channels, making sure that you've got different groups and different customers on different, as you said, on different devices or different mediums altogether. Getting that consistency of messaging and consistency of experience, that can definitely be a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And what studies have shown and research has shown as well is that you might have a really good Net Promoter Score on one interaction, and then the consumer has another interaction with another channel, and they might have a really good Net Promoter Score as well. But really what matters is the journey. So as they go through the journey, if it's about the same issue and those issues haven't been resolved, then you can see the customer journey Net Promoter Score or customer effort score really drops, right? And that can really have a poor impact. So it's really important to get the consistency and context around all these interactions to deliver the outcome for the consumer in such a way that you deliver the value that they want and just get out of the way. And it's really hard to do.
So it's interesting. You mentioned that sort of that transfer of information and data from one experience or one interaction to the next. It's really difficult for customers to have a positive experience when they seem to have to cycle back to the beginning of an interaction time and again. So what are the kinds of things that you're helping? How are you helping your customers overcome some of those challenges in meeting customer expectations?
So we have a omni-channel customer experience operational delivery platform that enables our customers to create the interactions that they would with their customers in a virtual way, and then be able to essentially place those interactions into the organizations, and they can really test whether the customer journey or the customer experience that they've designed for their customer across these channels is what the customer is actually going to experience without having to use customers as guinea pigs. So it's the virtual creation of a customer in CYARA, which is very easy to use. So we provide a very easy to use interface, which is, but you don't need technical resources to create the scripts for, and then they launch these interactions into these enterprises at scale, or it could be essentially as part of an agile deployment system where you can integrate it to things like Jenkins to essentially drive new changes within a few hours instead of taking a few months, and then making sure you're monitoring that experience in production in real time to make sure that you're catching any discrepancies in the intended experience away from the consumer and essentially containing it to a controlled environment. So that's what we're helping organizations do.
So that's really interesting because the theory there then seems to be that the expectation from customer to customer or user to user doesn't vary so much other than based on the actual experience or actual interaction because you can do it in a virtual test in a virtual environment. That's interesting.
Yeah, and actually you touched on a very good point. Every customer is unique, and their needs are unique, but when they interact with the organization, there are certain things that what we call are common, and certain ones which we call are critical. So if you look at a common interaction, it might be checking my bank balance, on my phone, or it might be transferring funds from one account to another, and there might be a very critical interaction, which might be, hey, I'm going to refinance my home loan, and it's not something that I'm going to quickly do on my phone. I need to actually talk to someone, get information about all the other elements that go with it. So, every interaction is unique, but the way you handle those across those channels is consistent, because whether Eric wants to refinance his homeowner or lock, we will come through all those different channels, and we would expect the phone to be answered within time, talk to the right person within the organization who's going to provide that information to me, and make sure that, I don't get bumped around from, a channel to channel or from agent to agent to get what I need done. So it's really, getting that consistency and the ability to deliver that flawlessly. That's really important, because they might be contacting you over an iPhone, or they might be using the desk phone, or they might be on the web, using a browser that essentially could be non-standard, right? So you, as an enterprise, has to make sure that whenever Eric or Locke contacts you, you're able to deliver a flawless experience every time.
So on the one hand, you just explained how you can take the human portion of the human element on the user side out of it for the testing and understanding the process. Are you then saying that you can take on the enterprise side, on the customer service side, take the human element out of it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we have is, just like we can create a virtual customer, in CYARA you can create a virtual advisor or agent. So essentially, that is we support some of the majors out there like Cisco, Genesys, Avaya.
Sure.
And we're adding more and more capability to that. So what you're able to do is essentially bring the whole customer engagement hub to life with exactly the ecosystem that you've built for your enterprise, and make sure that's going to be delivering the value that you intended to your customer base.
It's all about predictability.
Yeah. It's about predictability, actionable and insights, and essentially making sure that you can deliver rapid delivery of new capability out there. So I'll give you an example of how a customer of ours has brought this on to deliver agile capability. So studies show that if you were able to open up an interaction with a particular CSR or a customer service rep, and they solved the initial problem, but the problem wasn't completely solved. If you enabled that consumer to contact the same CSR for over a period of 20 days, that the Net Promoter Score for that journey would shoot up tremendously. So a company that was using CYARA was able to put that last agent routing process in place within 10 to 12 weeks, and able to bring that to the customer production environment rapidly, instead of taking months to do it. And they were able to increase the Net Promoter Score significantly as a result. So that's just an example of how you can bring new capabilities in an agile way and take it to market.
That's fantastic. Really interesting how you're helping take sort of unpredictability out of the picture to create a consistent experience. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Oh, you're welcome, Eric. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
In Santa Clara, I'm Eric Lanask. Thanks for watching.